Okay, friends, forget the soggy, breaded, baked chicken. Today we're making ultra crispy, golden chicken cutlets that are completely gluten-free, grain-free, and ready in 20 minutes. They have the perfect crispy crust, but there is not a breadcrumb in sight. I'm gonna show you how. Okay, so we're making chicken cutlets and we want them done fast, so you need a thin cut chicken. I know you can buy thin sliced chicken cutlets at the store, but what I do is I just get chicken breast, but I'm gonna show you something. So if you've been grocery shopping, I know you know what I mean. So these were 2 packages of chicken breasts that I get. So here's 1 chicken breast, and then the other packet, here's this chicken breast. So wildly different. These are not going to bake and be ready at the same time. So here's what I do. All right, for the smaller chicken breast, what I would do is I would pound this slightly because you wanna make sure the chicken is all the same thickness. Otherwise, part of your chicken is gonna be totally overcooked and the other part you're gonna still need to cook more. So put this on your board, just cover it with plastic wrap. You don't have to do this, but I don't know, it's just something I've always done. And then just bang it until you have, it should be about a 1/2 inch thick. And then also now it is completely even. It's 1/2 inch all around. And I'm gonna transfer this to a bowl. All right, so now we have Big Daddy chicken. And if I have a chicken breast this big, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna slice it right down the middle lengthwise. And as you're slicing it, you could kind of like open it up like a book. So there you go, your chicken can be more even like this, but honestly, like this is kind of way too much chicken for 1 person. So what I'll do is I will just slice that in half. So I have 2 cutlets. This one is good to go. It's even thinness all the way throughout, so I'll transfer that to the bowl. This one isn't even, so I'm going to tenderize it a little bit just to get it nice and even. For this recipe to have the right amount of breading for the amount of chicken, you'll need 5 cutlets for it. So you can double the recipe, just make sure that you adjust the breading accordingly. All right, so we have our 5 chicken cutlets. Now, normally breaded chicken has you dip it in like an egg and then breading. Nothing makes me angrier. I hate extra steps. So here's my trick. And also it helps create that crispy crust. So I just drizzle some olive oil over the chicken. So this, I'm gonna just eyeball it, but I would say for 5 chicken breasts, it's about 1.5 tablespoons. And then just use a fork to kind of toss the chicken with it so all the chicken is coated with the olive oil. At this point, I also like to just, we're gonna add seasoning on the breading, but I kind of just like to layer the seasoning and add a little bit of salt and pepper. Go ahead and set that aside while we make our breading. Okay, here's the magic of making breaded chicken without any breading. What I use instead is almond flour. I have a 1/2 cup of almond flour, and then to help bind it and create that crispy crust, I have a 1/2 cup of grated fresh Parmesan. Now to this is your basic breading, and I'm going to add seasonings to this, and these are the seasonings I use, but you can adjust this depending on what's in your spice cabinet or depending on how you're serving it. If you're doing a sauce on it, you might want to go a little bit simpler. If you like it spicy, you could add some cayenne pepper. But for this recipe, I do 3/4 of a teaspoon of Italian seasoning, 3/4 of a teaspoon of paprika, 3/4 of a teaspoon of tarragon, and then a little bit more salt, about 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt, and then a pinch of pepper. And just combine that all together with a fork. I have this in a shallow bowl because this is what we're going to dip our chicken in. So just kind of make sure that it's big enough to fit your chicken cutlets in. All right, so we're ready to dip. So I have my coated chicken, I have my breading that we did, and then I have the pan that it's going to go on. The pan that it's going to go on, I add more oil to, about 1/2 tablespoon of oil, and then just spread that evenly on the pan. Okay, and we're ready to dip. So we have our chicken, dip it in the almond flour, on both sides and then transfer it to the pan. If you have some extra breading, then you could just take some and sprinkle a little bit more on top. Before I put this in the oven, I have this incredible olive oil mister, so I will just spray the tops with some olive oil. Before I had this, sometimes I would use nonstick cooking spray as well, or if you don't have either of those things, you could kind of just drizzle a little bit more olive oil on top. All right, and then this is going to go in a 425 oven for 10 minutes. Flip the chicken, and then it just needs to bake for about 5 to 10 minutes more. Make sure you use an internal thermometer, and it should be 165 inside. All right, I have my gorgeous, beautiful, golden almond flour breaded chicken that you can do a lot of things with, and I have. I've done Parmesan. I've done like a Parmesan chicken where I put some marinara on there and melted mozzarella cheese. You can slice up the chicken smaller and do nuggets or tenders. I've served this on a lemon chicken pasta recipe. I have that as well. Tonight, honestly, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna slice this up and I'm going to serve it on a Cobb salad. Like I mentioned before, you could change the spices to it. It is like my go-to baked chicken recipe that everyone in my family loves. I hope you enjoy it too. You can find the full printable recipe below. And if you found this recipe helpful, I would really appreciate it if you'd subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.